Welcome to another edition of Inside Swoop Scoop. I'm Martilda Judy.
And I'm Emily Rolls. Here are some of the stories we've been following over the past week from around the world.
After phase one of the peace plan was agreed on, hostages from both Israel and Hamas have started going home.
The remaining living Israeli hostages have been freed by Hamas after more than 730 days in captivity. The 20 released Israeli hostages were met by their families after nearly 738 days being held hostage. In exchange, buses full of hundreds of Palestinians returned home after being released from Israeli prisons. Nearly 1,700 Palestinians returned to Gaza after being detained without charges by Israeli forces. 250 high-security prisoners were returned as well as part of the deal.
Instead of going back home, hundreds of Alaskans are evacuating after a powerful storm devastated the coast this week. Hurricane-force winds over 100 miles per hour leveled multiple villages with surge flooding. All of the flood waters have turned the solid ground into a marsh-like environment, uncovering sewage, power lines, and even caskets. Homes have even floated away, forcing many to leave in search of safety.
On the East Coast, Ukrainian President Zelensky will be in Washington today to meet with President Trump. He's expected to ask for tomorrow for a Tomahawk missile capable of reaching Moscow. Trump is considering giving Ukraine the Tomahawks. He also said that he mentioned it to Russian President Putin over a phone call yesterday. Later this week, President Trump plans to meet with Putin in Hungary to discuss the ending of the war. Many are hoping that these discussions between the leaders will stop the war in Ukraine.
A University of Southern California PhD student, Cesare Stepan Wing, has been arrested after being accused of sexually assaulting multiple women during his time at the university. Between 2021 and 2025, Wing has been accused of drugging and assaulting numerous women. Authorities began the investigation back in January and are now asking for the public's help in finding any other possible victims of the suspect. Wing was arrested back in August and was charged with 8 felony counts. Among those charges include rape and sexual penetration involving drugs. The University of Southern California says they are cooperating with investigators at this time.
100 unmarked ballots have been recovered at a California homeless encampment. The ballots used for the state's special election were voided, according to election officials in Sacramento County. The sheriffs are looking to find who's responsible for the discovered ballots. New ballots are being sent out to the voters affected by the discovery. No one was at the encampment by the time deputies arrived to the scene. The investigation is still ongoing.
7 people were hurt at a Fairfax County recycling plant after a fire broke out. One person was trapped in a crane 400 feet in the air. The man was airlifted to a hospital with life-threatening injuries. Weather made it challenging for Fairfax firefighters to rescue the man. The air became toxic as a result of burning plastic, metals, and rubber. A shelter in place was set for the surrounding area due to the air quality. Fire Chief Greg Hunter says the wind was pushing down the smoke, creating an area that exposed people to the harsh air quality.
The government shutdown is still ongoing and has affected TSA agents across the country.
But one community in Little Rock, Arkansas has been helping employees during this time. Our Inside Swoop reporter Carter Dunning joined us now to give us the story.
100 TSA employees at Clinton National Airport are still working, and they've been without pay since October 1st. But the TSA employees aren't alone during this shutdown. Local restaurants are providing breakfast and lunch to the federal employees. Cappy Peck is Little Rock's city director and restaurant owner who helped organize the free meals for the federal workers. Restaurant owner Cappy Peck is organizing the effort to bring meals to the TSA workers. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Carter. Just a few weeks after the shooting at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Grand Blanc, Michigan, 6 therapy dogs dedicated several days to offer emotional support to the community. Malaya Vanal-Strain brings us the story.
Meet Magdalene and Eternity, 2 of 6 comfort dogs who traveled to help people cope after the September 28th shooting in Grand Blanc, Michigan, when a gunman drove a pickup truck into the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, fired shots, and set the church on fire. Suzanne Ward is one of Eternity's handlers and went on the week-long trip to Michigan. One of the moments that stuck out to her was at the coroner's office when an employee came in on her day off for comfort. 4 people died and 8 people were hurt.
And one of the dogs just noticed that she was just really hurting and went over and just buried her head into this lady's lap. And this lady just hugged on this dog for probably a good 30 minutes.
Ward says that woman personally knew the gunman and had a lot of angst that she wanted to relieve. The Comfort Dog Ministry is a national program run by Lutheran Church Charities that connects trained therapy dogs with people in crisis. Magdalene has been serving at Cornerstone Lutheran Church in Carmel since 2023, and Eternity just joined the team last month.
They provide comfort to those who are hurting and or grieving or under stress.
The Golden Retrievers work 6 days a week serving Central Indiana and visit places such as nursing homes, hospitals, recovery and foster care agencies, schools, and anywhere where tragedy is.
The dogs have over 2,000 hours of training before we get trained to handle them, but there is ongoing training with them. We have 14 handlers for the 2 dogs right now.
Reverend Max Murphy says the Comfort Dog Ministry started just a few years ago. He's glad it's now grown to a team of 45 people who work with the dogs in the community.
I have just been amazed at how we're able to share the love of God through this ministry. It's become so much more than I realized it could be.
They like to play and run around, so when they're not working, they get to be real dogs and have fun together, which is really fun to see.
And to end us off, a pumpkin evaded police capture. Yep, you heard me right, a pumpkin. Police stopped a runaway pumpkin in Parma Heights, Ohio. The large inflatable pumpkin wasn't going down without a fight. Police were able to eventually detain the pumpkin and deflate it. This isn't the first time a large pumpkin has escaped. Back in 2024, another large inflatable pumpkin tackled a police officer.
Well, thanks for joining us for another edition of Inside Swoop Scoop. I'm Marta Judy.
And I'm Emily Rolls, and we'll see you next time with more news from around the world.